So the first thing about connection to servers we can do is we can switch servers. In settings, you can switch to servers tab, and then here you can choose a server to play on. I'm playing during early access, so I don't have an option, but if you're watching it after release date or sometime later, you might be able to switch the server. After you press play, you will be moved to one of the dark woods. There are many dark woods, but you will be moved to one of them. Let's teleport. Many players don't know you can teleport in Darkwoods. So when you choose the world, you will connect to the closest open session in that world. If there is no such session, one will be automatically created for you. And you will always connect to the same session unless that session closes. And you can close the session by waiting until timer runs out, by reaching max amount of players in that world, like 33 in an Inferno. And the lobby also automatically closes if every player in the world died. You can tell if the lobby is closed by the little lock on the player counter. If it's locked, it means players can no longer join this session. As you saw, I joined Inferno, there were some players, and now after I leave this session and I try to join Inferno, I will join the same session I've been to, unless it closes. The only exception from this rule is when there is no open sessions and two players try to create open session of the same world at the same time, it will split into two separate open sessions. Though only one of the players will have priority over other for players to join. The other session will have no players until prioritized session closes. Another thing to mention is parties. If you join to a party where host is in another region, you will also join that region. Currently, there is no way to tell what region you are in, except of feeling the ping. You can go back to your server only through going to main menu and pressing play again. Now let's touch upon the runs themselves. The first thing we want to talk about are resources. As we get in the open session, there are a couple things we can do before it closes. Later in the run, you'll need a lot of local resources, such as bones and keys. You can get bones from pots, chests, and big chests, which are protected by elite monsters. Keys can be gotten with some chance from any chest outside chambers, or bought for 100 bones on bone shrines around any chamber. You can also get them by killing Lucidos, bone creatures that spawn somewhat randomly across the map. Depending on the type, they drop different things. Grey ones drop only bones, blue ones drop few bones, sometimes keys, and cosmetic tokens. The purple ones drop few bones and eternal shards. Elite variants provide more of these resources, and blue elite guarantees a key drop. There are also ancient sigils. It's basically 3 buttons that need 3 players for activation. There are 5 different effects for 5 different sigils. You can receive sigils effects if you stand near the sigils, and you don't have to activate the sigils yourself. Sigils, similarly to chambers, spawn in waves. And like chambers, respectively, they spawn after first and second Divine Retribution. Currently, each world has 3 layouts, and there are maps that can help you navigate through the world to get more of these resources efficiently. You can find the links for it in the description. Let's talk about everything that happens after the session closes. Right after the timer runs out, there will be an adjustment that is applied proportionally to the amount of players. As far as I know, this adjustment will just reduce amount of chambers available, but later in the run after Ascension Battles, another adjustment will be made. Let's go through the main loop of the run, which you already probably know about. First is Divine Retribution, after which immediately first wave of the chambers will appear. That's also the time when unique elite spawns. After the first wave of chambers got completed, second round of Divine Retribution starts. After that, immediately second wave of the chambers gets opened. After the second wave of the chambers is completed, Divine Retribution strikes again, and after that, Ascension Battles get unlocked. And as soon as you're done with Ascension Battle, you can ascend and go to the boss battle. Actually, you can find all of this information inside in-game compendium that tells everything in details. First thing is Divine Retribution we talked about. What compendium doesn't tell you is that the further in the run it happens, the longer it will be happening. So for example, if it happens after a second wave of the chambers, it will be like 3 times longer than the first time. If you want to avoid Divine Retribution, there are a couple unconventional methods to avoid it, such as teleporting, which grants you a short period of invincibility, and you can leave the chamber to receive the same period of invincibility. You can also dodge and parry all of these attacks. The second element of the loop are chambers, which upon completion provide players with relics, power-up items. It is recommended to have a key when entering a chamber, otherwise you lose half of its value. To complete the chamber, you need to fulfill the objective in the top left corner. The objectives are random, but monsters are always the same in the specific chambers of the layout from the maps I told you about. Also, you can leave the chamber if it hasn't been activated yet. This allows you to quickly leave and buy a key or level up. Activation time depends on the amount of players that enter the chamber. If there are 6 players that enter at the same time, the chamber will activate almost instantly. If it's 1 player, it will take around 5-7 seconds. Additionally, you can check if the chamber is activated by the glow on the chamber on the map. Except for these chambers, there exists a special secret chamber. The secret chamber only appears when a quarter of the world's available chambers are completed, and you round down that number if it's non-integer. We can find out where the secret chamber will appear if we use our maps and need co-op power trick. Detailed maps tell us that on each layout there are only 3 spots where a secret chamber can spawn. And as we get to one of them, try to use your co-op power on the place where sigils for entrance would usually be. If your co-op power becomes red, it means there is an obstruction and you found the secret chamber. All you need to do is to wait until the required amount of chambers gets completed. Completion of secret chamber rewards players with regular chamber chests and legendary relic to all players in the session. Secret chambers in private session might be a little bit harder though.
Oh my god!
Wow.
What could go wrong?
Another good source of relics are unique elites. They're convenient because everyone can get a relic, regardless if they have a key or not. All they need to do is to hit elite at least once. The same principle works on every monster, by the way. If you even dealt 1 damage, you get the credit for killing that monster. Unique elite spawns only once in public sessions after first Divine Retribution and can be found somewhere on the map. They actually have like 3 paths in each world, but it seems to be chosen randomly and nobody really cares. After killing Unique Elite, you get the same relics as you would get by opening a chest, I would say. Crazy.
What are we waiting for?
Carry.
Alright.
Okay, she.
What?
What the f-
Additionally, you can get only common relics by opening chests and killing elites, but with a really low chance, around 1 to 5%. While probability of this common relic is 100%, what about probabilities of different rarity relics from chamber chests and unique elites? By default, probabilities are 60, 36 and 4% respectively for common, rare and epic rarities. If you equip fully upgraded perk Rejuvenated Vigor, it becomes 40, 54 and 6%. There is also a wishing feature you can unlock at some point that makes you able to get a certain relic from that rarity pool. So if you wish for an epic relic, and then you get an epic relic from a chest, it will be the one you wished for. I will also mention that every time you reroll a relic without equipping any perks, you have around 1% chance to upgrade your relic's rarity to next tier. Next thing we will go through are Ascension Battles. After the second wave of the chambers is completed, Holy Fire will cover the whole map, except Ascension pads, in 1 minute. Holy Fire is a special field that deals unavoidable damage equal to 10% of your total max HP around every 3 seconds while you have the burning effect. You will take the same damage even if you get shattered. You can find positions of the Ascension pads on the map. If you step into inner part of the pad, it will activate and the monsters will start spawning. Monsters on the Ascension pads are somewhat random and you can see if the Ascension pad is activated by the glow on the map. You have only 4 minutes and 20 seconds since Ascension pads appeared on the map before they get covered by Holy Fire regardless of circumstances. After you finish the Ascension battle, everyone gets a legendary relic and players who fought on that Ascension pad get 25% max HP healed. After you ascend, you have an option to descend to the player you are spectating, if you have the feature unlocked. After all the players ascend, the game adjusts boss battle to the amount of players that survive the Ascension Battle. This mainly reduces bosses' HP and reduces difficulty of the boss's attacks. Spoilers, depending on the world you chose, there will be different bosses, and as you finish Inferno, we will be moved into Lucifer Arena, which we'll talk about right now. Lucifer is the first boss you will meet in the game, but first let's talk about common things between all the bosses in the game. Each boss in 33 Immortals has 3 stages to go through. First stage starts as you enter the boss battle, second stage starts after you deplete 3 health bars, and third stage starts after you deplete 7 health bars. As you move from one stage to another, you will stun the boss and potentially interrupt his main attack. I call main attacks any attack that you see that is being charged on the screen or is being prepared. As each boss enters the first stage, they randomly add one main attack to the pool. Boss will keep repeating this attack until you get into next stage. As you get into next stage, another random attack will be added to the pool. Boss will keep rotating first and second attack until you get into next stage. As you get in the first stage, the first attack that was added gets removed, and the last main attack gets added to the pool. After that, the boss will alternate between second and third attack. When any of these attacks start, the boss receives damage reduction buff. During this time, you have to do some certain things to guarantee that you have safe spots when the boss finishes preparing his attack. By safe spots, I mean any spots that are not telegraphed with stripes. If the attack is telegraphed with stripes visuals, it means that attack unavoidable. You can't dodge it, you can't parry it, you can only use shields to block it. Let's go through each attack on every boss. Let's start with Lucifer. Last Betrayal requires you to kill all the blue elites that spawn during this attack. For every elite killed, certain percentage of damage reduction gets removed. The amount of blue elites spawned in depends on the adjustment that's made after Ascension of all players. After the boss finishes his attack, you have to pay attention to the boss' eyes, because on the side where his eyes don't shine, it will be the safe spot for you. The next attack is Frozen Hate. When the boss starts Frozen Hate, 2 shackles will appear. Destroying each shackles removes damage reduction buff from the boss. And depending on the side where you destroy the shackles, the safe spots will be granted on the same side. So if you destroy a shackle on the left side, there will be safe spot on the left side. If you destroy them on the both sides, there will be safe spots on the both sides. Next up is Eternal Sorrow. When the boss starts Eternal Sorrow, lots of ice tears will appear on the bottom side of the map. Each destroyed tier removes some percentage of damage reduction buff. Every 33% of ice tiers destroyed grants you a safe spot during the attack phase. Besides that, the boss has some passive attacks, such as stack mechanic on third stage, which requires you to have 6 players in your circle, otherwise you receive damage. Or some rocks falling from the sky, or some rocks appearing from the ground which you have to destroy, otherwise they do damage to nearby players. Stuff like that. Also just his hands moving and attacking players. Next boss we will go through is the boss of Purgatorio, Adam and Eve. The same as Lucifer, it has 3 main attacks, and compared to Lucifer you can predict which attack will be first by the passive attacks they use. For example, right now you can see that bosses uses whirlwinds. By that I can tell that the boss will use Remembered Virtues next. During Remembered Virtues, you will have to destroy the figs that are coming to the center and are trying to be consumed by the boss. Each 2 figs consumed by the boss remove the safe spot during attack phase. Each fig consumed fills up the boss Eternal Virtue Meter. Every 33 points of this Eternal Virtue Meter, which you can see on the status effect on the boss, will remove 1 safe spot during the attack phase. Next attack is Forbidden Knowledge. During Forbidden Knowledge, the whole arena will be covered in poison fog, except 3 spots on the left bottom, right bottom and top. On these spots, you will need to kill Elite and interact with the Knowledge Flower. After getting Knowledge Flower, you will have 1 safe spot during the attack phase. If you stay in the poison for too long, you will acquire Poison Status Effect, which you can see above your health bar. It deals damage for like 5 seconds. The damage is pretty random, but generally it deals a lot of damage to you, so don't get poisoned easily. After you defeat all the elites and collect all 3 knowledge flowers, poison fog disappears. Last attack of Adam and Eve is Forbidden Sins. After the Forbidden Sins attack starts, you immediately can see 3 sigils that appear above the Eve's head. These sigils are sequence in which you will have to destroy sin trees that spawn across the map. For example, you just saw that the boss showed me bird, fish, hand, which means I will have to attack the sin trees in that sequence. Each 2 trees destroyed grant you safe spot during the attack phase, and each tree destroyed removes some percentage of damage reduction buff. The lastly added in the game boss is Wrath of God. Wrath of God is a little bit different, but generally has the same principle as other bosses. First main attack of Wrath of God is Perfect Order. Perfect Order requires you to unentangle the planets so they stay yellow for 3 or 4 seconds. That needs to be done 3 times so the boss loses his damage reduction. This also grants you safe spots during the attack phase. Next up is Immortal Glory. Immortal Glory spawns 4 elites, one of which is purple one. It always spawns during each attack, it doesn't matter, he's just to make the game harder. You need to focus on other 3 elites, you need to kill them at somewhat same time, because otherwise they will keep reviving and you will fail the main attack, which will remove all the safe spots during the attack phase. Lastly, Kindled Devotion. When this attack starts, the elite will spawn with one of 2 colors, purple or yellow. As you can see on my screen, the elite spawned with yellow color below him, which means we have to make all the pillars that appeared on the map become yellow color. To do yellow status effect, you have to stand in the yellow pillar area to receive yellow blessing. If you did everything correctly, the boss will lose damage reduction and you will have safe spots during the attack phase. Compared to other bosses, this boss has second phase. During second phase, you will mainly have to play memory game. The boss will show you 3 attacks that he will do, and you will just have to stand in safe areas during that time. And that should be all the bosses in the game. Now let's talk about some different things we have in the game, such as stats. Let's start with the easiest one, Vitality. Each point of Vitality increases your max health by 10. That's it. Pretty easy, right? Now let's move on to the Empathy. There's a lot of stuff you can learn about empathy and co-op powers, but generally it's unique to 33 Immortal stat that increases your effectiveness of co-op powers and your co-strike damage. Each point of empathy increases your co-op power effectiveness by 4% and your co-strike damage by 1%, generally speaking. Last stat is attack, which I will also bring up to the final formula for damage you deal. Each point of attack generally increases your damage by 2%, but it's different from damage percentage that increased by Relics and Empathy. It's much more effective and it stacks well with Relics and other damage increasing effects. If you want to learn more about all these stats, more about co-op powers, more about builds, more about final formula for the damage, you can visit this guide that I will leave in the description, which was made by one of the community members. Now let's talk a little bit about the skins in the game. Generally, I would put them in 3 categories. First category would be the skins that you can get in the game, be it exclusive to worlds, be it exclusive to bosses, be it exclusive to 12 ordeals or feat system, you still can get them. Second category would be the skins that you cannot get anymore. This category includes skins that you could have gotten if you played alpha or beta test, and it also includes skins that you could have gotten from Twitch drops, which happened during the early access release. Third category will include skins that you can get by buying bundles and by activating redeem codes in main menu. Currently there is like 6 or 7 cosmetic bundles you can buy and around 14 skins you can get from redeem codes. You can find the redeem codes in the description.